got them eating in the Sox as they get set to bump heads with the surprising Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell. Since we get set to bring you the first of this three-game set, as you know, we just concluded a four-game series with Cleveland, where we won the first game and they won the last three. But talking about a sweep, last time we played these guys in Minnesota, they were really struggling, and all of a sudden, four-game series, they swept us, and that was the shot of adrenaline they needed.
We're going to take a look at the numbers from that series, and you can understand how you can lose four straight. The runs, obviously, an overlay, 31-8. The hits, 50-36. Home runs, they hit 5 out of the ballpark, which is surprising, and the Sox didn't hit any. Errors, very similar, but starters ERA, 9.18 as opposed to 2.86. You're not going to win too many like that, and Minnesota comes in as one of the surprising teams in all of baseball.
Well, one of the stats that was not up on that list that you just saw were the plays that were not made, and we did not make a lot of plays that should have been made in that series. But tonight, a couple of good right-handers out on that bump.
Great pitching matchup. Jeff Samardzija for our guys and Phil Hughes for theirs. And last time out, Jeff Samardzija against Oakland was awfully good. He went 8 innings, gave up 8 hits, just 3 earned runs, and won that ball game. He's pitched especially well in this ballpark. Just his 4th start of the year here at U.S. Cellular Field. But let's take a look at what he's done at home this year. He's 2-0, the ERA 270. Phil Hughes on the other side of the coin. His 13th start against our Sox is 4-5 lifetime, but still a good ERA of 3.12. So this should be a good one. There's some payback due after that sweep in Minnesota, and let's see if we can go get him.
Payback is due, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field on a great night for baseball. It's 57 degrees, but no rain in the offing. And the White Sox and Jeff Samardzija take the field. Twins come into this a surprising 23-17, just 3 games in back of Kansas City, 1 game in back of Detroit in the battle for second place. So let's take a look at how Paul Molitor is going to line up his Twins. Brian Dozier to lead it off. He can run and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Torrey Hunter in the 2 spot. Joe Mauer playing first and hitting third. Then it's Trevor Plouffe, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, Eddie Rosario, who we didn't see in Minnesota, along with Aaron Hicks and Danny Santana playing shortstop and hitting 9th. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Jeff Samardzija. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, and J.B. Shuck. Avisail Garcia, a late scratch because of a knee problem, so J.B. taking over in right field tonight. Connor Gillespie, Alexi Ramirez, Carlos Sanchez, and Jose Abreu in the infield, with Giovanni Soto getting the nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is the aforementioned Mr. Samardzija, on for the 9th time. Just his 4th start at home. He's been unbeaten here. His record 3-2, the ERA a little above 4.5. The umpires for the game this evening: Bill Miller, the crew chief behind the plate. Doug Eddings is at first. Adam Hamari is at second, and Adrian Johnson is at third. Robin's been talking a whole lot about chemistry and the way to get it. And in his estimation, and the estimation of a lot of people, you get good chemistry by winning. You start putting together some winning streaks, and the chemistry will be there. He feels it's a good clubhouse. He's hoping that in the not-too-distant future, this team can put every aspect of their game together and start on a prolonged winning streak. And he's opposed by first-year manager Paul Molitor, who never managed any place, but he's doing a real good job with his team. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. And that means we're ready for baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for game 1 of this 3-game weekend series, and it's going to be a big weekend. And Jeff's first pitch of the ball game is taken for a ball that was a strike right off the bat. At the bottom of the zone. Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant. Minnesota hitting at 257 as a club. And the count moves to 2-0. They have a team ERA of 4.17. They are 9-11 on the road, 14-6 at home. There's a strike. Just based on 3 pitches, it looks like Bill Miller, who is a good umpire, is going to have a high zone.
That was a good high fastball at 95, and let's see if another one's forthcoming. That one looked a bit like a cutter. It was 91, caught the outside corner so quickly he pulls even at 2-2. On our Menards pitch tracks, show you a perfect pitch.
Full count. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center field. And there's old Nemesis. Old Nemesis. And still a good player, Torrey Hunter. That's high in the right. J.B. Shuck, can of corn, 1 out. And here comes Torrey, hitting at 282, 6 homers, and 24 knocked in. Those are pretty stout numbers for a 39-year-old veteran who's got 22-year-old body still.
He had a big year last year with Detroit, and he's following it up with yet another one.
Yeah.
And the talk is always, well, this is going to be Torrey's last year, certainly. And he says, it's going to be my last year. I'm going to come back where I started, right with the Twins. But the way he's playing, I mean, unless he just is tired of it, doesn't appear that his body's giving out on him at all.
No, his body's in great shape, and his mind's even in better shape. He's one of those guys that it's irrelevant.
He's also one of those guys that has earned respect from all of his teammates. He gets it because he's been around a long time, but even more than that, he's been a winner. He's been a winner wherever he's gone. And I think that's one of the reasons for bringing him back, outside of the fact that he's playing pretty well. But he can take a clubhouse, especially some young players who haven't won before, and tell them how to do it.
Two and two. Just got a piece of it.
It's the first time these guys have ever hooked up. Corey Hunter's never faced Jeff Samardzija. Good sink on this last one at 96. Torrey is very fortunate to still be alive. He just barely hit the top of that baseball.
And another full count. So you want to fold to Dozier, fold to Hunter. And that's into short center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So 1 out single.
Torrey in full defense mode takes this pitch, probably out of the zone, dumps it into center field, hits it off the end of the bat. And Adam got a good jump, just couldn't get to it.
Here's Mauer hitting at 284, 1 homer and 24 knocked in. Same amount as Torrey Hunter. First pitch strike. Torrey just a short lead. Mauer has faced Samardzija 5 times, has 1 hit.
Joe Mauer has always loved to hit here. Of course, he's got those numbers a lot of different places, as he's been a 3-time batting champion. So 335 in a given venue is not overly surprising.
1-2. So they have 1 out, 1 on. He's got a lot of pitches already.
3 deep counts. When he tried to go get him, number 5 was up and in with a fastball. He's tried a couple of splits. Those are the 2 pitches, 1 and 4, that are low and away.
Another full count. 3 hitters, 3 full counts.
Mauer doesn't strike out very much, so it's likely Paul Molitor is going to send him.
Torrey just 1 for 3 in stolen bases. Minnesota 15 for 26. Long set. There he goes. And there's a little shank into left field. Gets by into the gap. So Torrey on the move is going to score on the double. And it's 1-0. Twins quickly.
RBI number 25 for Joe Mauer. When you have a guy that makes contact, the best thing to do is send the runner. This was not a steal because he got a slow start. All he's looking for is some contact. He's got the play right ahead of him on the left center field and doesn't hesitate. He knows he's going to be able to beat this play easily, and you see him locate the outfielders, knowing where the ball is going to come down and how far it's going to roll. He keeps rolling.
Troy's one of those guys, he does not need any help on the base paths.
He's been every aspect of the game. Torrey Hunter has been really strong.
Trevor Plouffe takes a breaking ball, 1-0. Plouffe at 263, 6 homers, 20 knocked in. Yeah, your real good base runners never need a third base coach or a first base coach for that. Those are few and far between.
Yeah, you can bet what he did before the fact was check and see where the outfielders are. So when that ball was hit, he knew nobody's going to catch it. You don't have to break stride.
Watch out.
That was a no look back at Joe Mauer. And Joe Mauer, seeing that there was no look, starts running. Trevor Plouffe wisely, when he sees this jump and sees Jeff not looking, there's no reason to swing the bat.
And he picks up his first stolen base of the season.
Just heads up base running and
almost a year.
A bit of a mental mistake on the part of Jeff Samardzija.
3-1. Well, that's what mulligans are for in some games. Not in this one.
You don't get one here. Or Johnny Danks would have started last night's game over.
Another full count. 4 hitters, 4 full counts. The more pitches you see, the more dangerous you become. That comfort zone just grows and grows and grows.
Plouffe has yet to hit a sacrifice fly.
He does now. He's got one, and it's going to be a 2-0 on the gift stolen base. 2-0 Twins.
This is a game that's won or lost 90 feet at a time. If you give up the 90 feet, odds are you're going to probably lose the game in a close game. If you take away the 90 feet, you got a real good chance of winning a close game, and that, to this point at least, was a gift run.
Well, let's just go back on that road trip. We lost the first game in Milwaukee, and we gave them some runs in that game. We won the next 2. We played good defense, real good defense, especially at the corners in game 2 of that 3-game set. Then we go out to Oakland, and more so than us beating them, they beat themselves. But we didn't make any mistakes, so we caught the ball in the last 5 games. That's the reason we won all 5. We come home, we play against Corey Kluber with Chris Sale on the bump. We win that ball game 2-1 as that ball hit deep into right field. Shuck is back there. And we'll continue with that. You cannot give the other team 2 runs a game and expect to win.
Jose Abreu, who's always done well against Phil Hughes, Adam LaRoche, Connor Gillespie, Alexi Ramirez, J.B. Shuck, a late addition to the lineup, with Giovanni Soto and Carlos Sanchez rounding it out. The defense and out-down lineup behind Phil Hughes is Rosario, Hicks, and Hunter in the outfield, with Booth, Santana, Dozier, and Maurer in the infield. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Phil Hughes. He's 3-4 this year. His ERA is a bit higher than he would like. He's given up a lot of hits, 61 in 51 innings. However, he has as good a control as anybody in baseball. Last year, a walk-to-strikeout ratio of something in the neighborhood of 11.6 strikeouts for every walk.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Adam Eaton takes first pitch strike. Getting back to what we were discussing at the end of the inning. First rule in baseball, as we've said over and over and over and over again, you got to catch the ball. That's number one. And that is tantamount to making an error, allowing Maurer just to walk into third base. That's tantamount to it is an error, but it's a mental error.
Right. And it's a run that wouldn't have scored.
Exactly.
Just the same thing happening as happened.
So that is popped up left side. And that's out number one. But the point I was making is the fact that in that game with Chris and Kluber locked up, we won that ball game 2-1. They made the mistake at home plate. Perez dropped the ball, and Adam Eaton was scoring, and we won that game 2-1. All right, in game 2, we gave them 2 runs, and they beat us 3-1. In game 3, we gave them 2 runs, and they beat us 4-3. Now, last night, you know, they just beat us. So that's baseball. Here's Cabrera, the 252, a homer. He's driven in 14. He's used pretty well, 5 for 12. Now make it 6 for 13. Corey quickly gets to it and gets it back in. And let's check out our picks to click. Comancio, our director of the crew, Alexei. Steve's going with Connor. And I'm going to my safety valve. Seems like every time I pick this guy, we win a ball game. Jeff Shure and all the great folks at Ditka's. Since we've lost 3 in a row and we're down 2-0 here, Jeff will get us home tonight. Here's Abreu. And that's out of play right side.
As they would love to extend that 16-game hitting streak. He had a couple of streaks longer than that last year during the streak, as you can see it in 323. The power hasn't been there, but he crushed the ball last night. Just couldn't get it over the head of Michael Bourne. It turned into a double play, but he hit the daylights out of it.
Breaking ball, strike, curve. Well, more so than that, making it a 17-gamer. He's knocking a run. Try to get even in this ball game. Gap out there in left center. Pretty good lead by Melky. And there is that high strike, but it was a strike.
This ball had the whole plate. And Hughes throws that curveball through 2 in a row. Got him looking at the second one. And Neil Allen, the new pitching coach, is trying to get Phil Hughes to use the curveball more. He's got pinpoint control with everything. But he had a tendency, was falling into a habit of throwing too many fastballs, especially in the zone. There's a look at the new pitching coach, Neil Allen. Last year, the starting rotation had a staff ERA of over 5.
Neil's one of my favorite guys, and here we played him 7 games, and I haven't said hello to him yet. He's a good guy.
He's a very nice guy.
Yes, he is.
He'll do a good job. They've gotten him a few good arms. He's got a decent pen. Got a very good closer in Glenn Perkins.
Big hack by LaRoche. Hitting at 222, 4 homers, 16 knocked in. 2 for 5 with a homer off Hughes.
Last year, Phil Hughes, in over 200 innings of work, walked just 16 men. Pretty remarkable.
That's approaching Dennis Eckersley type numbers. As he gets him on a breaking ball. And that's it. After one, it's 2-0 Twinkie.
Dan Hayes has got some wonderful information for you. It regards the pitching staff.
Yeah, Steve, when Carlos Rodon was transitioned out of the rotation transitioned into the rotation 2 weeks ago, the White Sox basically said, this isn't the end of Hector Noesi as a starter. Now, today, Robin Ventura said that Noesi's going to take over on Monday in Toronto, move back into the rotation. For a start right now, as of right now, they're going to push Carlos Rodon back just a little bit. They talked about this at the time, that it was going to be a transition. It was going to be something where they spaced him out. They didn't want to have him making all the starts on turn because they wanted to limit his workload. So Robin Ventura basically didn't have information as to when Rodon pitches again, but he also said it's not going to be very long.
There's also a doubleheader to cover in Baltimore, and you've got some news on that.
Yeah, Robin suggested that Scott Carroll could make one of the starts. Chris Sale obviously starts tomorrow, and his turn would fall either in Game 1 or Game 2 of that Thursday doubleheader. But Scott Carroll potentially could be there. Obviously, the White Sox have that 26th man for Game 2, and we saw Chris Beck come up last time, but he didn't pitch. It's potentially there's a starter in the minor leagues, but with the way Scott Carroll's pitched, I think they're looking at him as a strong possibility.
Well, hopefully Carlos Rodon will be able to better his control from what it's been, and obviously you want to keep him as strong as possible. You also, in doing what they're doing, you're going to make sure you limit the innings, but if he is needed down the road, he's going to have enough arm to get there.
Yeah.
Well, in doing what they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do.
Absolutely. Rick Hahn said at the time, this is intended to make him as strong in September as he is right now. And so we might see 8 days between a start. We might see a start skipped, use extra days at the All-Star break to manipulate it all. And obviously it's something they did with Chris Sale. And like they've said before, they don't have a magic formula for this. It's going to base it off of how he is. But at the same time, they feel like their communication is good enough and strong enough.
Well, thank you, Dan. We appreciate the information, and now we know a few things we didn't know before you got here, and it's always a successful trip.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, Dan, good stuff. Hey. Another full count. Escobar for the leadoff walk.
There's Bobby Thigpen. He's taking over for Don Cooper, who is away from the club for a couple days because of graduation. So Figgy moves from the bullpen to the dugout. Mark Salas takes over his duties in the bullpen.
So here's Rosario, Eddie. 23 years old, first time we've seen him hitting at .235 this year, I should say, with a homer and 6 RBIs.
He had his friends and family at Target Field for the first game he ever played and the first pitch he ever saw. He took it opposite field for a home run. The Target Field. Opposite field for a left-hander into left field is a blast.
Well, that adrenaline factor shortens it up a little bit.
They did get a great shot, however, the shot of the family. The family was taking video of that first at bat. First Major League bat, you want to have a chronicle of it. And the video shifted as the ball was disappearing over the wall, and they got a shot of the family, and obviously everybody was ecstatic.
Get over there. And they just do get him. Good play by Sanchez.
I think Paul Molitor wants to take a look and ask.
He's standing on the top step.
Yeah, he wants to ask his guy if, in fact, his foot was on the bag. Now, Doug Eddings said it was. From that angle, it appears to be. And I think Paul will be informed of this.
That'll be a sacrifice 3-4. And here is Aaron Hicks at .267. This guy's got a lot of promise. Will it come out? Only time will tell. But he certainly has a ton of promise. Adam comes a long way to get that for out number 2. Remember the series he had against us last year?
I think Aaron Hicks, well, number one, he's their best center fielder in the organization to this point. Byron Buxton has not come up, so it falls to Aaron Hicks, who was a former #1 draft pick. He's had a number of shots. They said, we're going to send you down, start you in AAA. You've got to earn your way back. There's not going to be any coming back. And he hit .340 in AAA, so he did indeed earn his way back to the big leagues.
Well, Minnesota's been one of the top organizations for discipline.
For a long time.
Oh, for many. Well, as long as I've been in the league, that's a long time. Yeah, you're going to do it the Minnesota Twin way, or you're not going to be there. And if you got options, you're going to the minor leagues.
Santana's a pretty good player. He's had a tough year defensively at shortstop. He's made 10 errors. This is a guy that was their starting center fielder last year. They just had in mind the whole time that he actually is a lifetime shortstop. They feel he's going to get a whole lot better, and as a switch hitter, especially one with some speed, he can be a big asset in that lineup.
Well, it's been interesting for me to watch this game this long and played it as that ball hit into center field and see just how many terrific young talents continually keep coming each and every year in the Major League. Coverage begins at 12:30. Right here on Comcast Sportsnet. But, you know, when was your first year in the big leagues?
1971.
Okay. My first year was 63. And it used to be that you would occasionally see one or two good young players come into the American League. I'm not talking about the National League because he had 16 teams. And then as time went on and the expansion happened and the teams grew, you would see more, obviously, of good young players coming into the major leagues. And then it became like a wave. Every 5 or 6 years, you'd see a wave of good young players come in. And now you're seeing each and every year good young players come into the big leagues. Talents, I should say, not players, talents. Gillespie, Dozier, Mauer, 1 out.
One of the things that stopped Phil Hughes this year was he couldn't throw that curveball quite as well for a couple of starts. He had a cracked fingernail. Now he's entirely healthy, and this is his 9th start of the year. But for him, that ERA of 4.76 coming in is a lot higher than it's going to be.
Put some new skin on it.
That's a tough thing to get the feel of the baseball. I will tell you.
Think it'd make it sink in you?
It's tough.
You ever do a lot of bowling?
I did. You tore the skin off your thumb, and then you put new skin on it and just kept on bowling.
It kept on bowling.
Yeah.
We used to bowl 30, 35 games a night.
That was
Pot
it.
bowling, yeah. Couldn't go out there without a bottle of new skin. Oh, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. Go home busted. 0-2. Hughes. And they don't get him.
Well, Hughes didn't get over there. He was taking his time as he trotted over to first base. And Alexei, sniffing a base hit all the way, is able to beat the play at first.
Well, he saw it. That's why he was sniffing.
He beat him. You've got to sprint off the mound and locate that bag after you get the toss.
Molitor still standing up. Wants the thing. Now it looks like he might come out to challenge. He says, no, go ahead. So here is Shuck. Debbie hitting at .231. No homers, 3 RBIs. Takes ball 1. There's the strike.
Minnesota has allowed 34 stolen bases. They have only thrown out 10 would-be base stealers.
That ball hit it hard into center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So Alexei now will have to pull up. So here's 1 out, 2 on.
A late addition to the lineup, J.B. Shuck gets a fastball right down the middle and dumps it right in front of Hicks in center field. Aaron Hicks has an excellent arm, so taking liberties with him is not a real good idea.
And here's Soto. Giovanni at 170, a couple of homers, 5 knocked in. 2-2-0 for them, 0-3-0 for us. If you're just tuning in, they scored 2. That ball high in the center. Alexei tagging. Scott tagging. Alexei is going to go into third. So 2 out runners at the corners.
Phil Hughes is going to throw a lot of fly balls. Over 50% of the outs he's recorded have been fly balls. That is the sign, obviously, of a high fastball pitcher and a guy who, when hitters do get a look at that curveball, they're popping that one up also.
Well, Hughes has got a nice presence out there. He always has had. He's got like a real professional-like presence out on that mound.
He was a #1 first-round draft pick. Not the first player picked in the country, but the first round for the New York Yankees. And he had some good years with the Yankees and was a 2010 All-Star. So he's been on the big stage.
First pitch strike at 92. Big guy, 6'5", 250. Bluefin on the grass at third. Checks it up. Count evens at 1.
Hughes has yet to throw a wild pitch. Suzuki doesn't throw awfully well, but he does dig the ball out of the dirt well. That was a get off me ball swing. This is one of those that you see it's coming inside. You just don't have much room with your arms. Got the bat, able to foul it off. He realizes it wasn't one of his better efforts.
Two out. The 1-2. First of a 3-game set. Then it's off on the road, and boy, what a road trip that's going to be. Ooh.
As you can see, only 3 pitches thrown out of the strike zone of the 25 he's thrown.
There he goes. And he just got a piece of it. And you may have seen the opening with us wearing our jerseys. Steve's got his on.
I have the resplendent black top. You have the 83 version.
And that ball slicing away, but Hicks makes the catch. No, he does. What a play. What a jump. And he stayed right with it. That's a hang whoop for Carlos Sanchez. Mercy. So it's the top of the order. Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer to face our Jeff Samardzija. Dozier went out to J.B. Shuck in right field. If you're just tuning in, Ivy got a sore right knee. Just could not make it to the post tonight. Well, we were talking about our jerseys that we wore in the opening. This is Majestic Jersey night. Boy, what stuff Majestic makes. They make some. Steve's got his black and white on. I've got the 83. And here they are. He's got his number on the back. And I've got my number on the back. You know, these jerseys, when they first got them, everybody was absolutely carping and moaning. Everybody hated these things, all the players.
That's become the most popular jersey for the fans and players both.
Well, the players, too, at the end of the season, because we won 99 games, though. So everybody, it was funny. All the players hated it, and then they loved it. Majestic National Jersey Day. That is high. And caught for out number 1.
Join us for a special children's autograph session this Sunday. It starts at 10:15. The first 1,000 kids purchasing tickets through this special ticket offer invited to the exclusive pregame child's autograph session. Visit whitesox.com/autographs for tickets and more information.
So here's Torrey. Nice pick. Nice peg. 2 down. Well, we were talking about Torrey being a winner. This is the 17th year in the big leagues. Torrey is 189 games in his career over 500. He's only been on 4 teams that had losing seasons.
That's pretty amazing.
189 over. Come on.
But only 4 losing seasons in his entire career?
Yeah. And that is absolutely, quote, quote, a winner. And for those 16, this is his 17th year. For those 16 years, I really disliked him for 16 years.
It's because he did some damage to the Sox.
That's right.
A lot of damage.
That's exactly right. And we'd like to welcome our viewers watching on McNabb Cable and Satellite in McNabb, Illinois. McNabb, yes. Get my money in McNabb. There's some good players there. There's a strike. All right. RBI double, stolen base, and a run scored on a sacrifice fly back in the first inning. He got a Lance Johnson jump at second. There you go. 1, 2, 3 inning. That's 6 in a row retired now by Jeff. But we trail it 2-0.
Rangers. The White Sox are offering specially priced tickets to all Indiana residents, their family, and their friends. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/NWI Sox fans. Second time through the order, and hopefully it'll be the charm. The Sox trail by a pair, and Phil Hughes is not going to walk too many people to give the Sox much of anything. They're going to have to hit him to beat him.
Adam popped up to short. Danny Santana. High pop up. And Danny's going to get him again. 1 out.
He works that fastball almost exclusively up in the strike zone. Occasionally he'll go down for effect, but he doesn't want to let you hit that one. He wants you to hit the chest high or head high fastball and pop it up or hit a fly ball. One of the reasons why he's given up 10 home runs this year and 53 innings of work.
Melky. Single back in the first inning. Close pitch goes Hughes' way. So the count 1-1.
Hughes' best year by far, 18-8 with the Yankees in 2010. He was 16-10 with a bad Minnesota ball club last year and an ERA of just over 3.5, and that was very good.
There's a little flare in the left. Eddie Rosario makes the catch for out number 2. And here's Abreu. Called out on a high curveball, but it was a strike. There's Plouffe. Guns over. That didn't take long. 2 pop-ups, a ground out, and we're into the 4th. Line presented by Hawk Ford. Pat, Steve, and Jamal will be standing by to deliver locker room reaction, highlights, and much more on CSN Plus.
There are the majestic jerseys. Handsome Sox jerseys and a lot of happy fans.
All 30 Major League Baseball teams are enjoying majestic national jersey day today. Jacks it up, takes a strike, and the count evens at 1 to Plouffe.
A very good fastball hitter, especially middle in.
Softly hit. One out.
That was a good pitch. That was right in on Plouffe's hands, and he could just barely get the bat on it.
So here's Suzuki. He went out to Shuck in right field.
Minnesota got Suzuki to help their young catchers develop. In the meantime, Josmiel Pinto, who's supposed to be the #1, had some defensive problems. Suzuki has pretty much taken over, and he's always had good numbers against our Sox.
Two down. And for all of you who have tickets for tomorrow's game, Paul Konerko Jersey Retirement Day. Parking lots will open at 11 a.m. Gates open at 1:10 p.m. and fans are encouraged to be in their seats by 2:25 p.m. And there's still some standing room tickets available. Escobar walked, leading off the second.
He's a switch hitter. He's better from the left side, which is the side he will employ against Jeff Samardzija.
And Bill Miller, recipient of that one in the dirt.
And Giovanni goes out there not really to say much of anything to Jeff Samardzija, but to allow Bill Miller a chance to shake it off if he can. We'll take another look at it. This one bouncing in front of the plate and getting him in the top of the right thigh.
No pads there.
New. However, of your choices of where to get hit, that was probably a pretty decent spot.
One and two the count.
Jeff has certainly settled down after a tough first inning. We gave up a couple of runs on a couple of hits. That's been it as far as hits are concerned.
And both those hits were softly. Big thing there was a stolen base. That's into left field. Melky, and that is a nice 1, 2, 3 inning. He's retired 9 in a row, and he still trails it 2-0.
to arrive early as we retire Paul Konerko's number 14 in a pregame ceremony. First 20,000 fans will receive a Paul Konerko replica statue. It's beautiful. It's presented by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
And there it is. That's a nice statue. That's a nice memento, a nice take-home gift.
Paul wore that uniform proudly for a whole lot of years and put up some big numbers.
Well, I was thinking about it the other day. A writer called me, wanted to do a story, and he was asking me one of the questions about the most impactful players on my life that I played with or against, or saw in all these years of broadcasting. And Paul certainly was one of those guys. That is hit high and foul.
Well, I think Jeff Samardzija said it best when he talked about Paul Konerko and the fact that facing him, you're facing a professional. He went out there every day, went about his business. Of course, Jeff was a big Sox fan growing up. He saw the great years of Paul Konerko. He battled against him on the field when he was a member of the Cubs. And he respected everything that Paulie did. And when you look at those numbers, you realize in White Sox history, Paulie is one of the most impactful players.
Well, for me, in all my years here, the three most impactful players, certainly Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, greatest hitter this franchise has ever seen.
You said Ted Lyons. How was he?
At the end, his curveball was a little flat,
It was a little flat?
Yeah, it didn't have much depth on it. But now, you take guys like that, and not Free, but Harold Baines was certainly an impactful player. But the guys that on my life, that Mark Burley, Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko. I mean, Paulie wasn't always professional like that.
Early in his career, he didn't really learn how to handle the emotions, and he was so hard on himself early.
Well, that's why it was so gratifying for me to watch the maturation process of Paul Konerko. And there's ball 4. So that's very unusual based on balls issued by Hughes, coming to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 4th.
It's not unusual for Adam LaRoche to draw a walk, however. That's the 26th on a team where nobody has more than 12.
No, when Paulie first got here, the first couple of seasons, I was worried about it. But he also is one of my all top 10 fastball hitters that I've ever seen. He could turn a 30-30 around.
Didn't he turn around a 102-mile-an-hour Joel Zumaya high fastball?
Yeah, in Detroit. The ball gets away, so Adam, leadoff man, is second.
I think that's going to be the first wild pitch of the year.
I didn't care. I don't care how hard you threw it. The speed to Paulie was immaterial.
Well, that was a pass ball, and I do believe that Suzuki was looking curveball. I think he got crossed up.
Oh yeah, he was. He
was sliding to his right, and no catcher is going to miss a fastball by that much.
He definitely got crossed up. No, but I played with some good fastball hitters. I saw some great fastball hitters, and I was a good fastball hitter. But Paulie was, as I said, I don't care how hard you were throwing. Speed was irrelevant. So now, Connor, who grounded out to second, he's got a job to do. We got to get that man over and get him in. Nope, that will not work.
That wasn't a particularly good pitch to swing at because that ball was tailing away. It just barely, if it did at all, tipped the strike zone. But you're not going to pull this ball.
Well, you can. You can if you get up on the plate and you got to try to get him over. You can move up on top of the plate, and that same pitch right there, he can pull. But to stand off the plate like he is and then swing at that, no, it's not going to get done. So here's Alexei. Alexei had an infield single. That's what you call situational hitting.
Those are
situational hitting denotes an adjustment of sorts.
Well, you're going to have to find some way to pull the ball or bunt it to third, because in a 2-run game, you get that man to third with 1 out, they're going to play the infield back.
With a pitcher on the mound who's got good control and he's a veteran. That ball hit hard, but boy, look at that thing nosedive.
Well, the wind is pretty stiff tonight.
Meanwhile, it would have got him in.
It certainly would have done that, but not from second, as you see the wind, and it's seemingly knocking down the ball.
No, not from second.
No, it's that particular situation. That particular situational hitting came into play there.
So it's up to JB, who singled. Yeah, we've done this too many times this year already. A second, nobody out. Can't do anything with it. And it's certainly not because of Todd Stevenson. Now Suzuki wants to go out. There's Todd. Todd tells him the right things. Meanwhile, they got to execute. There's a strike for an 0-2 count.
They got a pretty decent throwing outfield. Eddie Rosario is much better than average for a left fielder. Hicks has got a great arm in center. Torrey Hunter will get rid of the ball quickly. The arm isn't as strong as it once was. Probably doesn't have the typical right fielder's arm at this stage of his career.
Now the ball gets by, so that'll be a base hit. Meanwhile, the Roach at third.
That one was probably a mistake by Joe Mauer, because if in fact Hughes comes up with it, he's straying wide of the bag at first. Phil Hughes probably should have been able to get this ball, but even if he did, Joe Mauer had broken off the bag and there was nobody home. There's no coordination between Dozier and Mauer, so he's not going to cover the bag. But it's a moot point as he just misses it.
Mauer probably told him, "You're welcome."
For your second hit of the night.
Yeah. Here's Soto. Went out deep to center field. That ball is just not carrying. And the count 0-2 right there. Bryce Harper hit his 16th homer.
Washington goes out to win. There's your MVP.
Well, that's his 11th home run in his last 45 at bats. Now that'll work.
He's got to stop getting thrown out of games arguing balls and strikes.
And that's a fair ball. So now JB is being waved around. Here's the throw all the way to the plate. Safe! And this game is tied at 2. Now the throw to third. Save! Yes!
RBI 6 and 7 for Giovanni. And then J.B. Shuck decided to try to outrun the arm of Eddie Rosario. This is a curveball that kind of hangs in the middle of the plate. Takes it right down the line, right over the bag. Adrian Johnson on the call. And then it's a foot race with J.B. Shuck winning it, but not without an excellent throw from deep left field.
Don't stop now, boys, as here is Sanchez was robbed of extra bases on a stunning catch by Aaron Hicks in center field to end the second inning. That was with the man at first and third. That ball had got by him. It would have been 2.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and it involves the catch Hawk was just talking about. Great play by Hicks.
And from our vantage point, it was tailing away from him.
That's full-out extension on a ball slicing to your right.
Oh, and 2 the count. Yeah, that was a beautiful play. Good eye. Good take.
This all started with a leadoff walk from a man that had only walked 5 in 51 innings coming into this, and only walked 16 all of last year. So that was uncharacteristic wildness.
Well, he caused it himself with that walk and that misplay and a little grounder by Shuck.
It certainly is nice to see when the other team opens the door.
Isn't it?
Our hitters take a chance on storming through it.
Isn't it? Oh, boy. Lined hard.
Yeah, Giovanni is saying hit it between the lines because that one almost hit him in the head.
Almost dehorned him.
You come down the line in foul territory for a reason. But he never anticipated it would get that close.
And that hit him.
That's the first batter that Phil Hughes has hit this year. Sweeping breaking ball, leaving runners at the corners, and Adam Eaton with an opportunity.
A very infrequent walk. First wild pitch this year for Hughes. First hit batter for Hughes. If Mickey Rivers was here, he'd say, good signs, good signs. Now do something. Adam Twice has popped up. Santana at short. Takes it right there. Tardy. It's up and away. All right, on this pitch right here, good chance it might be not a strike. Get a good jump and go. Get thrown out. That's okay. Maybe you might throw one in the dirt. Nope. High fastball.
Well, he got lucky there only in that Suzuki wanted it inside, and that ball tailed back over the heart of the plate, up a little bit higher than Adam would have wanted it. You see Suzuki sitting inside, and that ball is bounced straight back. He got away with one.
Pretty good lead. Half step bigger. He would not go. Hit deep in the right field, but Torrey Hunter is there. Back in front of the track. Hauls it in. But we score 2. This being the second and the tying run. And this game is tied at 2. It'll be the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters as Eddie Rosario takes first pitch strike. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the second.
This is an important inning for Jeff Samardzija because his team has just battled back to get him a tie, making it a brand new game. And he hasn't given up a hit since the first. It's imperative to put up a goose egg here in the 5th.
And at Kansas City, we talked about Kendrys Morales being a good pickup for the Royals this year. Well, he is 2 for 2. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and they lead St. Louis 5-0.
He might also be leading the league in doubles.
He is a good hitter. Switch hitter.
There have been a lot of times in his career where he's been a great hitter. Now he's trying to get back again to what he once was.
Well, one time before he broke his ankle, he was one of the best hitters in the league.
I was going to say you'd never gotten him from the Angels if he hadn't had that injury.
He gone.
Our Honda pitch tracks will show you one that just dives out of the zone. That's the splitter. That's a pitch you can use effectively if you stay ahead of the hitters. If you're behind hitters, they're just going to look at that and take it and hope it's not a strike.
Here's center fielder Aaron Hicks, who popped up to his counterpart. Fouls that one back.
Take a look at this from Aaron Hicks.
I take it by your tone that was not what you were looking for.
Nope. What I was looking for was an oddity in the swing of Aaron Hicks. As Tom Bernansky was talking to him, and what he does from the left side is he dips the bat before bringing it back. That acts as a timing mechanism for him. See him drop the bat and get back into the hitting zone. Bernansky felt that it would give him better timing. And they're hoping it works well because he was hitting .340 in AAA with that particular style, but only from the left side, not the right.
Well, that's a Rico Carty, right-handed hitter. Swing, who used to be with the Braves a long time ago, was a pretty fair hitter.
Not a trusting man, though. And I'll tell you why. Rico Carty was a great hitter, didn't make the Hall of Fame, but a great hitter. He always carried his wallet in his uniform pocket. He would never trust the valuable box.
Well, back in those days, there were some valuables that were stolen on somewhat of a regular basis. He gone. Nice inning. We're halfway home, tied at 2. Two-two tie here in the bottom of the 5th. Cabrera, Abreu, and LaRoche to face the veteran right-hander Phil Hughes. He's been around a long time. He's still just 28 years old. Had a chance to be around for a very long time.
He signed an extension on the contract he signed when he first got here, and he's tied up through 2019.
Ate him up right there. Dozier. Cabrera now 1 for 3.
Visit participating Chicagoland Great Clips salons by June 5th for the Great Clips Summer Sweepstakes details. The grand prize winner will throw out the first pitch on Mullet Night, Friday, June 19th, plus White Sox tickets and a pregame patio party.
So here's Abreu. And want to send a big White Sox shout out. Happy birthday to our buddy, Rob Lyons. Big 6-0 today. Happy birthday, Rob. Rob's a good man.
Just a young man.
He is?
Oh, yeah.
He is to me. Not to you, but he is to me.
The prime of life. No, it used to sound old. It doesn't sound that old anymore.
0-2 the count.
Now Dozier, who was shifted on the third base side of second, has moved back into a more straightaway second base.
Well, he's got the luxury here of being able to cheat. He can see the sign. He knows what the signs are. He can see where Suzuki's going to set up. And then he takes a step to his right. And that's why.
Hung a breaking ball, and Jose was right on top of it, but well out in front of it. If you missed the game last night, you missed Jose aggravating his index finger on his right hand on a swing where he grounded a base hit into right field. He came back later in the game, hit the ball awfully hard, and hopefully it's not giving him any problems tonight.
That ball hit awfully hard. Stretch, it's over his head, off the fence. And now they're going to hold him to a single as that Rosario gets it back in on a perfect throw.
Well, we told you that Rosario can throw. The Twins were working him out at second base. This is before Dozier secured that spot. When Dozier took it over, and he's going to be there for a long time, they had to move Rosario to the outfield. And he's not only got a strong arm, but he's very accurate with it. This ball is crushed against the wall, and it's one of the longest singles you'll see in this park.
Well, Dozier's a good second baseman, but a strong arm like Rosario has, if in fact he can play second, is that's into center field. Hit well, but it's going to be knocked down, and that's out number 2. But a strong arm like he's got at second base, you're going to turn a lot of double plays that ordinarily wouldn't be turned, and it's going to be used a lot more at second than it would be in the outfield.
For a long time, Dozier, who was a shortstop, couldn't really find a position. Then they started to put him at second base, and he became better and better defensively.
Well, he's one of the better guys in the league.
I mean, and you look at him as a leadoff hitter. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Not too many leadoff hitters can do that.
Ian Kipnis, Troy, Ian Kinsler, those guys are good second basemen. So here's Connor. He's 0 for 2, a grounder to second, and then a fly ball to left center. Caught by Dozier. Ball hit softly. And that'll do it. We're into the 6th. Still tied at 2. Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer.
Got to be careful on a first ball fastball to Dozier. He got 7 home runs. Pretty high total for anybody, but especially a leadoff hitter.
That's why he's throwing breaking ball.
That's a very good way to neutralize a first ball fastball hitter. Home something that looks like a fastball until it drops out of the zone.
Been a lot of good first ball fastball hitters, especially Latins. But the greatest first ball fastball hitter I ever saw was a Latin. His name was Vladimir Guerrero.
Well, he also had a nose-to-toe strike zone and made good solid contact. If you threw it anywhere, just keep it in the stadium, he's swinging.
He could do everything. Stole 40 bases one year. Felipe Alou, when he was managing Montreal, told me he was a great. And Felipe played with Mays, Covey, and all those guys. Jimmy Ray Hart out there in San Francisco said that Guerrero was the greatest 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitter he ever saw. Vladimir, a .318 career hitter, and was under the radar virtually for most of his career.
They played most of it in Montreal, and it took away a lot of his knees. Still had a great career when he left Montreal, but physically he was never the same.
He gone. 1 out.
Torrey Hunter is today's T-Mobile game changer. 9 Gold Gloves, 5-time All-Star, 2,368 hits, doubles, home runs, stolen bases. A 5-tool player who was a winner and a champion just about everywhere he went, and is still at this age producing.
Well, in case you missed it, Dave Ross did a lot of digging, came up and I asked him. Torrey in his career, 189 games over 500. Only played on, in 16 years, only played on 4 teams with under 500 records. Perennial All-Star in center field.
And as I understand
he actually changed the way center field was played to a degree.
As I understand it, he was very close to wearing a White Sox uniform.
He was.
But for a last-ditch effort by the Angels.
Yeah, at the Taco Bell.
1 more year, another $15 million, and he became an Angel.
Kenny went after him hard.
He would have looked awfully good in the Sox uniform.
Yep. He went after him very hard. Well, they went after Bartolo Colon very hard, too. And the Angels came in and snookered him again.
Bart's still winning. He's won 6 games. He's 6-3.
Yeah, of all the pitchers we've had who we lost to free agency, really, who weren't that many, but Bartolo was the one that really hurt me the most. And they went after him very hard, offered him an awful lot of money, and the Angels just overwhelmed him. And losing Torrey was another big disappointment to me, because he would have been the perfect fit for this ball club. As he gets him, he gone. 2 down. 5 strikeouts.
Jeff has fanned 4 of the last 5 batters he's faced. And the shaky first inning has been it. That was it. 2 hits, 2 runs. Nothing since a Mauer double in the first.
Well, look at his MO since he's been with us. Okay, if you don't get him early, you're not going to get him.
And he's a big, strong guy that keeps on getting stronger during the course of a game and doesn't mind getting up to 120 pitches if that's what the situation calls for.
Boy, that mantra has been labeled on a lot of good pitchers. If you don't get them early, you're not going to get them.
And the simple reason is that the pitcher's the only player that does not warm up at the position he's going to play during the game. Warms up on a completely different mound. A lot of guys have trouble adjusting in the first inning, and that's why a lot of pitchers have shaky firsts.
Chops the foul. And that's to the near left side.
It's the fastest pitch he's thrown. He tried to heat Mauer upstairs at 96. So it's there. Jeff has chosen not to use it a lot, but he's got it in his back pocket if he needs it.
Throwing it up again. He gone. Strikes out the side. 6 punch outs now, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Tied at 2.
Account and debit card with your local Wintrust Community Bank. Wintrust is a proud sponsor of the Chicago White Sox charities and will donate $25 for every account opened this season. Visit wintrust.com/you decide for details.
Here's Alexei. He's 1 for 2. Had a little infield single. There's a shot for a base hit.
First ball fastball. And Alexei truly enjoys first ball fastball.
Well, as we talked about, he is right-handed. He's the best right-handed fastball hitter we have on the team.
J.B. Shuck taking a long look down to Joe McEwing.
J.B. had a little infield single, scored back in the 4th. He also singled in the 2nd. That was a big play on that little infield single in the 4th.
This is a very good running situation.
Checks it up and takes ball 1. Yeah, well, he's had it all the whole game. You saw that in the first 4 pitches.
that had the whole plate.
He's a good umpire. It's consistent. Bill Miller. He was also the crew chief.
For the pitcher that's around the plate a lot on a 1-0 count, it's a good pitch to run. You see very few pitch outs to Gamble taking the count to 2-0.
Uh-oh. Back him up. 2 down.
Sox are second in all of baseball in grounding into double plays. This an easy 4-6-3. Santana, with a pretty good arm, comes across and guns down a pretty fast runner.
Well, not in this case, but what one of my pet peeves is too is, and it's just the old school syndrome. First pitch double play.
Used to be finable.
Hit $25 against a sinker baller. If you drown into a double play on a first pitch sinker, and when you're making $6,000 a year, $25 is a lot of money.
That go into the manager's retirement fund?
Or golf ball fund. According to who the manager was, Alvin Darkey was his golf ball fund. There's a base hit. So Giovanni, who had that 2-run double in the fourth, he's now 2 for 3. Also, out he made was deep to center field.
Hughes is going to give up a lot of hits because he's around the zone. This is a little cutter. Tries to keep it away. He's at the plate. And Gio's got a hit.
So here's Carlos. He was robbed of extra bases and possibly 2 RBIs on a stunning catch by Aaron Hicks. Then he was hit by a pitch.
If you can see more hits than innings pitched, that has been the mantra this year of Phil Hughes.
Well, his career has been when he scattered 11 hits, scattered 9 hits.
And didn't walk anybody. In this case, he's walked 1, and it cost him a run. Leadoff walk in the 4th inning. An inning that, with 1 on and 2 out, turned into 2 runs and tied the game at 2.
Chopper to Hopper. And we're into the 7th. First of this 3-game set. Tied at 2.
Foods, a great food menu, as well as beverages and parking passes. To purchase, visit whitesox.com/group.
It'll be Plouffe, Suzuki, and Escobar here in the top of the Twinkie 7th. Plouffe with a sacrifice fly and a grounder to third. Jeff has retired the last 15 guys he has faced. Count even at 1. ate him up. Boy, there's a Doc Edwards shot right there.
He's gotten inside a couple of times on Trevor Plouffe. And it's tough to get a base hit when the ball is right on your thumbs.
Well, that's what he's got to go in there and check, see if he's still got his nails.
That's in the kitchen. He was deep in the kitchen.
Here's Suzuki. He's gone out to right and grounded to third.
Suzuki, another one of those hitters that is at his best when he's using right and right center. If you can get him to roll over anything away, he doesn't have much speed, you're going to get a ground out to the left side.
You mentioned that road trip coming up. There's the strike. We leave after the game here Sunday. Go to Toronto for 3. And after the game in Toronto on the 27th, fly to Baltimore, play a doubleheader on the 28th. That's fouled away. Then after that game, take a 3-hour and 15-minute flight down to Houston. Play a 3-game set there. Then have an off day on the first, then finish it up with 3 at the ballpark at Arlington. So 11 games in 11 days, doubleheader on the 28th. Knocked out. Good stretch, nice play. 2 down.
This one is in and down, and Suzuki pulls the ball. That's not his long suit. A good long throw across the diamond, and they cut him down.
Yeah, that trip you go from Canada to Mid-America, South Texas. That doesn't happen very often.
No, that's a lengthy one. Good pitching line for Jeff Samardzija. Mauer's double in the first inning, the last hit.
Eduardo was walked. That was leading off the second and going out to left. That one at 94. Well, pitch number 96.
Might not be a bad idea to go back up there again. That's where Gio wants it. It was a little higher than Escobar wanted it.
Souvenir left side. And that breaks a string of 17 in a row retired by Samardzija.
He went to what appeared to be a backdoor slider. Escobar just takes it through the left side. He doesn't run very often. Only one attempt this year, and he was successful. Doing a little house cleaning in left field. That's the reason for the holdup. I'm glad there's not 2 beach balls out there.
So here's Rosario. First time we've seen him, and he certainly is a young man who can throw. That fastball at 93. That one at 92. And the count 0-2.
Big Petrichka loosening in the pen.
He gone. 7th inning stretch. We need some runs. Top of the order here in the bottom of the 7th. Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu face Phil Hughes. Just flips a little curveball up there and grabs a strike. Just over the head. Dozier got time. 1 out. Adam now for 4, and that'll bring up Melky, who's 1 for 3. And a reminder, Family Field Day is May 30th. So get the ball player experience by warming up in the bullpen and hanging out in the dugout. And all of it benefits a good cause. It goes to White Sox charities. Fans can also visit the newly renovated clubhouse and miss something. Or visit the garage sale to shop for game used bats, game worn jerseys, pants, equipment, and more. So Christine O'Reilly and her crew will make sure you have a good time on Family Field Day, May 30th.
With the shift on, Melky was thinking about laying one down. It's not a radical shift, but they are deep.
One of the few low strikes he's called tonight. And the count 0-2. Veteran players who've been, well, when I say that, 4 guys who've been in the league 4 or 5 years, they don't care what the umpire strike zone is as long as he's consistent with it.
it would be best to know going in before you have to adjust to the umpire's zone.
Well,
you used to have a book on all the umpires.
There's no question.
And what zones.
Today, you don't have American League and National League umpires anymore. There's just a continual shift. It doesn't make any difference because you should know by now, if you've been 4 or 5 years in the league, almost all the umpires, except for the temps, the guys who come up just to do some temporary games. 1-2. Told our fans this many times. Great Ted Williams, and it's something to think about as he gets in. That's just the third strikeout for Hughes. 2 down. But Ted Williams wanted to know, first of all, which way the wind was blowing, who was pitching for the opposition, and who was the home plate umpire. And he would visualize all day once he found that out. The wind blowing in, the stuff of the pitcher who was starting, in the strike zone of the home plate umpire.
Also helped being one of the greatest hitters who ever lived.
Well, that's one of the reasons he was one of the greatest hitters that ever lived. Is he checks it up, and that's
the ball hit him, I believe, and it's calling him out.
So that is a 1-2-3 inning and a quick 1-2-3 inning, and we're into the 8th.
Unusual way. It's an excuse me swing. It's trickling down the line, and it hits the foot of Abreu. The scoring decision, it's the closest to. It goes to you, 2 unassisted. Hit the side of the foot, and that was it. The call by Bill Miller. It was a good one.
So it'll be Hicks, Santana, then back to the top of the order with Dozier in the top of the 8th inning in this 2-2 tie as he takes ball 1. Two and 0 the count. Grab some bench. Hang with them, kid. 1 out.
Jeff got this one inside. Unfortunately, Jose is pretty close to the line. It's right there.
There's Santana. He is lined out. to Adam in center and struck out.
You didn't hear much about Danny Santana last year, but the only rookie that outproduced him is a man standing at first base, Jose Abreu. Santana had a very good rookie season.
He looked terrific against us.
Yeah, he got a chance to be a good one, and he was playing center field. Now he moves to his natural position. He hit .319 last year.
We saw him in center field, and we saw him at short. I was surprised to hear, talking to some Twin people, that he was having a lot of defensive problems this season, because he looked good against us.
10 errors so far. That's a bushel full of them.
He gone. 2 down.
Stop by Shy Sox Bar and Grill at U.S. Cellular Field. Shy Sox Bar and Grill offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group. It features 70 flat-screen HD TVs, and it's open 4 hours prior to all home games. Shy Sox Bar and Grill is located at the Gate 5 Plaza.
So here's Dozier. Nice breaking ball strike on the outside edge. Guy is a good fastball hitter.
Eight strikeouts for Jeff. Only 1 walk and 3 hits.
Has a good pitch, didn't get it.
Has a little piece of the plate.
Bit of a gap out there in right center. That one at 96.
Sox bullpen continues to work. It's Jennings and Petrichka. Although Jeff Samardzija doesn't look like he needs help right now. Bill Miller was ready to raise his right hand.
Yes, he was.
Up until the last instant, this ball is a touch off the plate. Watch where the 4 appears. And he started to twitch and then thought better of it.
Full count. Well, Miller's had a good game behind the plate, but he's not going to get them all right. Nobody is. Ironically, the guy that I would say, if there's one guy who had a chance to do and see about 375 to 400 pitches in the game and get them almost all right, would be Joe West. Oh yeah, he gone. 9 strikeouts now for Jeffrey, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th.
and it is Aaron Thompson. This is 21st appearance, ERA 3.27. That's pretty good. 19 hits in 22 innings. He has allowed a couple of homers, and left-handers have done nothing with him. And that's who he's slated to face, LaRoche and Gillespie.
Beckham's on deck. And 0-1 to count to Adam, who's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. A walk leading off the 4th inning.
Thompson at one point was really highly thought of. The Marlins drafted him in the 1st round, the 22nd player chosen overall in 2005. And now he's working exclusively out of the pen.
He's probably just got the one guy. You'll see. He's looked good against us when we've seen him.
Yes, he has.
And Paulie's going to let him go at Beckham. Alexei on deck.
Well, Molitor looking over his lineup card.
Paul Molitor, one of the greatest fastball hitters to ever play this game. Wow, did he turn it around. That's why he's in Cooperstown.
Yeah, deservedly so. He was really tough.
He could steal 40 bases for you. Good eye.
David Robertson loosening up.
Beckham hitting at 245, a couple of homers, 9 RBIs. And he's got the catbird seat at 2-0.
And you would think if he doesn't get Gordon, not going to be around to face Ramirez.
Three and nothing.
Michael Tonkin, king-size right-hander, loosening in the pen.
And that is ball 4.
And that's going to be hit for Thompson. It's Paul Molitor making the long, slow walk. He wants Michael Tonkin. So as he walks out, Thompson will walk out. We'll step out and be back after these messages. On the 2015 Assurance MLB All-Star ballot at WhiteSox.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. So vote early, vote often. Help select the starting lineup for the 2015 All-Star Game. Vote at whitesox.com now. The Honda call to the pen is Michael Tonkin. And he inherits the go-ahead run at first base on the Beckham walk-on for the 10th time. His ERA is up there. 7 hits in 6 innings.
Well, he's 25 years old. He's 6'7", 220 pounds, so he's tall and lanky. Out of Palmdale, California. First pitch strike.
Outfield is a whole lot deeper than they would normally play. But it's a no doubles defense. Time now for our AT&T UVerse multi-view. You see Tonkin as he looks in at Suzuki. Gordon Beckham with his lead at first, carrying with him the go-ahead run, the go-ahead and potential winning run.
One out, one on, 1-1 to count. Ball and 2 strikes. And there's a base hit. He's now 3 for 3 off Tonkin is Gordon. He's going to make the turn. He's going into third. Runners at the corners. 1 out. Yes.
A costly walk to Gordon Beckham. The base hit by Ramirez. Toyota pitch tracks is a fastball. It's up. He takes it right by Maurer, who had no chance. And that's Gordon knowing exactly where Hutter is playing, realizing that there's no way he's going to be able to throw him out. Now meeting at the mound. Dozier talking to Tonkin about, number 1, who's going to cover second base. Number 2, who's going to get there if there's a potential double play. But that's the go-ahead run at third base.
And here's J.B. Shuck. J.B. That's going to get the job done, J.B. Shuck. Yes, it will. Beckham's going to score. Sox lead it 3-2.
The late addition to the lineup, J.B. Shuck, who had no idea was going to start tonight, but for the knee problem with Avisail Garcia. A couple of hits, a run scored, and a very productive sacrifice fly. RBI number 4. This ball was right over the middle of the plate. It was down, and JB got the job done.
And here's Giovanni. He's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and he's hit the ball hard all 3 times. That 2-run double right down the third base line in the 4th inning. First time up, went out deep to center field. There he goes. So he picks up the steal. That's his 2nd stolen base. That stolen base is going to be there as long as Suzuki's behind the plate.
Not a particularly good throw. It bounds away, but not far enough. That makes him take off for third. But he's in easily at second.
Now Giovanni. Now. He's got the count, 2-0.
That run charge to Thompson. A walk to Beckham. Has come home to score. Could tack a loss at Aaron Thompson.
Two balls, two strikes. There he goes. But Beckham walks. Base hit fly. Alexei. Sacrifice fly by J.B. Shuck. We'll go to the ninth. It is 3-2 good guy.
I'm brought to you by Miller Lite, and here's our Miller moment. It's a sacrifice fly off the bat of J.B. Shuck. Gordon, who had walked, scores a go-ahead run. And now it's up to David Robertson with Gordon Beckham staying in the game at third base. Robertson has been awfully tough this year. 3-0, the ERA 1.04. 27 strikeouts and 17 and a third. Save opportunities, 8 for 9, looking for his 9th. And some unbelievable numbers he has accumulated early in the season. A strikeout percentage of 41.5%. League average 21.9%. So he's among the elites in all of baseball.
So Luke's dad has got Hunter, Maurer, Plouffe. Torrey Hunter 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. Torrey has faced Robertson 9 times, has 1 hit. And the count 0-2. He gone. 1 out.
That's a fastball that looks exactly like a cutter. And when you throw it low and away on the black, most hitters have no chance. This ball moves at the last instant, and that's a big first out.
So here's Mauer. Mauer 1 for 3 with an RBI. That's taken by Abreu. 2 out. Bring it to dangerous. Trevor Plouffe. He is 0 for 2 tonight with a sacrifice fly. Picked up his 21st RBI. He's got 6 homers. Over 21,000 plus. Most of them on their feet. Oh, 1 the count. That evens. Count evens at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. He gone! And this ball game is over. So the Sox break that 3-game losing streak. They trailed